The storms have subsided, the skies have cleared, and here at the U.S. Open, we are set for an absolutely juicy semifinal showdown. DC Truck Stop and Belgium's Mooncatchers. Two very different styles of ultimate set to collide for a spot in tomorrow's U.S. Open Championship. Good afternoon, everybody. Evan Lepler, great to be alongside one of the great international voices of ultimate, Stefan Rapazzo. Very different styles, Truck and Moon, but exhilarating ultimate all the same. I know you're hyped for this matchup.
I can't wait. This, you get the classic small ball champions of USA a year removed, taking on the newly crowned European champs. Big fiery shots. They've played the big ball, the big game for years, and have kind of dialed it down in the years past. They both had a great run through this tournament. Unblemished are the Mooncatchers, moving the whole way through. Truck Stop took one loss in the power pool crossovers to Dig, lost on Universe. Tight game. I saw the end of that one. They're pretty happy with the way they got there. And these two match up, really good clash of styles as we look at these matchup notes. First time ever these two teams will have met. Moon, as mentioned off the top, defending European champions, and the U.S. champs 1 year removed. Our Truck Stop highlight machines all over this field, starting with Truck Stop's Christian Boxley.
Well, perhaps the biggest surprise in the USA World Game selection process was that this guy was not among the 7 that's headed to China. There's been a lot of conversation about it. His teammates have called this tournament and this whole season the Christian Boxley Revenge Tour.
And justifiably so. Box has been sensational. But on the other side, you got Don Demarais, a guy who's emerged in that 2022 Worlds, came onto the scene, broke onto the scene, and has just been getting better in leaps and bounds. Top a lot of people's lists, including mine, and the best player in the world. He's got speed, he's got grips, he's got rips, he's got it all, and I'm looking forward so much to that Demarais-Boxley matchup when we get it. Have a look at these starting 7s, Evan.
Bontemps, Demarais, Barsazi, who's had a breakout tournament. I know in Europe he's been an Italian sensation for years, but I think American fans are getting to know just how good he is. The Yonkers brothers with Ben and Ref, with Arthur Feller and the tall, dynamic Latvian Arvids Karklins. Trucks D-line with Lee Fall, McCutcheon, Merriman Job, Bloodgood, and Jasper Tom, the feisty handler defender. One conversation that we had pregame, Truck is aware that this is the type of team, the Mooncatchers, that has given them problems in the past. The high-flying team of athletes. Truck has never been the tallest team in the men's division. We're about to find out exactly how this will unfold. The wind is not going to be a factor, at least in the outset, as it was really whistling 30-40 miles an hour about a half hour ago. But it has died down considerably as Moon begins this game on offense. In their white jerseys, the boys from Brussels, Belgium, that broke onto the international scene with a semifinal appearance at the World Ultimate Club Championships in Cincinnati 3 years ago, capturing the hearts of fans with their swagger, their style, their skill. About half of this team that's here at the U.S. Open was on that team in Cincinnati 3 years ago. This is Arvids Karklins dishing to Ref Yonkers into the middle of the field for the aforementioned David Barsazi. Don Demarais being chased by Charlie McCutcheon in the middle of the field. You talk to Truck Stop teammates of McCutcheon, they long say they think Charlie's one of the most underrated defenders in the world. He was inches away from a layout block there. A pick called that stops play. That's why the younger Yonkers was that open. Late arrival to the field after the delay, Steph. A lot of these Mooncatcher guys were just getting their cleats on about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, let's see if that comes into play. So far, looking patient early in this first possession, but they were running to get those cleats on, heavy breathing, while Coach PA was looking over, kind of tapping the watch, wondering where they might have been.
You think you said 3 before the pick?
Oh no, I said 5, but you said 2 seconds before that.
Yeah. If you think you said 3 before the pick, then you're going to come in on 4.
Yeah,
so do you disagree? Okay, we're coming in on 4.
A lot of chatter over a single tick of the clock. Reset to Benji Yonkers. David Bloodgood on that mark. Here's Desmarais. A lot of space on the break side. Forcing backhand, and they'll take the backhand score into the end zone for Feller. And a clean hold for Belgium's Mooncatchers to get this semi started.
Love to see Arthur Feller contributing here. Players about a year and a half ago had the ACL done. Came back on the scene at the start of this season, has been slowly injecting himself back into the starting lineup, playing more minutes, bigger role. Tends to hang back and be the reset on this offensive unit. But don't dare sleep on him. He's still got everything in that bag of tricks to make those upline cuts, give those extra options in a bit of small space, and if you sleep on him, he'll take yards upfield as well. You see one crossover right away, Evan, as we look at that defensive line. Surprise, surprise. Who might it be? Don Desmarais staying out. I've been teed off. He might be getting the Boxley matchup, so interested to see that one. Would be a heck of a matchup, the two players to watch.
Steph, if this game goes 29 points, and we could all be so lucky if that happened, how many of the 29 points do you think Don Desmarais will play?
I think how many would he be willing to play is 29. I think his coach would have to limit him and keep that down to
what
somewhere.
Does that mean?
I mean, the coach would have to beg him to say, hey, man, come on, please take a break. We're going to need you more at the end. But I'd imagine Coach PA understands at this stage that the amount of ticker Don has, he probably can stand to leave him out. He has left him out there plenty in games of past.
This is Sean Mott launching deep for Boxley against Desmarais. And it's Boxley who had the position and brings it in shy of the goal line. One quick flip for Jacques Nissen. And truck stop with an electric hold. Hope your popcorn is buttered.
Boom. Blowing the doors off. That's exactly what we were hoping to get. I loved that matchup. I thought that Desmarais did a pretty good job trying to take the outside line, trying to get up early, but Box is not going to be denied. The Boxley revenge tour goes up, maybe a second later than Don, but goes up with better position. See Don trying to take outside line, trying to go up early. Box knows that he's got to get that at his absolute high point with the coverage on him. And he does go up confidently early, takes it down with a strong right hand, and was more than happy to see Nissen come chiseling through for the immediate conversion. Box getting it done. Love the start of this game already.
Don Desmarais not on the line for Mooncatchers offense for this second 0 point for Belgium.
Pull out the back.
But it's not like they're lacking talent. And that's one of the special things about this Belgium team that got the better of their European rivals, Clapham, earlier today. And what was really an awesome game to watch. I've always felt when, you play someone from your region and you're in a faraway land, there's extra meaning to that game. You've traveled thousands of miles and you're still trying to protect your home turf. And Clapham played well, but the Mooncatchers were better. That game was right next door to Revolver Pony, which was also a thriller that went down to the wire. Pony's played a bunch of games on Universe Point this tournament. They won 2 of them in pool play, but they lost on Universe to Revolver in quarters earlier today.
Truck on the other side of that bracket went through La Fota. They said that they loved La Fota's style. They were very impressed and surprised with how good they were. They said chiseling small ball. They would come play from the backfield. Yes, as these two.
Before. Right, at 2, right? That happened at 2.
Between one and two.
You think it happened at 1?
Between 1 and 2.
Okay, if you think it happened at 1, then fine. Coming on 2.
We're on stall 2.
Second time we've had that discussion for 1 second on the stall count.
Hopefully the last. Benji bluffs the big deep shot. Arvids Karklin's coming underneath, chased by AJ Merriman. It's funny, AJ is not a small guy, but he looks small next to Arvids. Looking deep, ref Yonkers, chased by Alexandre Fall. Fall with the skying block.
Wow, Fall stepping in front of ref Yonkers. Ref was calling for it at the back of the stack for 2 or 3 seconds in the stall count, saying, I got this. He was getting face guarded. I thought Arvids put it to the right space. You see ref after saying he wanted that to be a blade. He wanted it to get there quicker, but what a play by Fall.
Smaller in stature, but higher athletically.
The springs.
Yeah, he was up higher than Benji, or than ref was. First turnover of the game, opening break chance for David Bloodgood in the truck stop D-line. Working with Jasper Tom, a little flick up the line. Bloodgood's willing to shoot it. Fall, hunting bookends. Yonkers giving chase, but he's got no chance. Alexandre Fall has his semifinal moment, and truck stop takes the 2-1 lead.
Wow, those bookends are something for Fall. He's got to cool that hand off, I think, is what's going on over there. He's got the hot hand. He's heating up. He's getting blocks. He's getting separation. The throw, I believe, came from Bloodgood. Was an absolute banger. From the midway mark. Plays sideline to sideline. Here's the throw by Karklins. I thought that was money in the bank for ref Yonkers. There it is again. Man, Alexandre Fall. And there's the Bloodgood throw. And as much as that's the double happiness, the bookends for Fall, bit of the double sadness for ref. Bit more excusable to get Deed in front, but then to have that kind of separation going the other way, a little salt in the wounds.
That's an instance why truck stop doesn't like the criticism that they're not big enough. Because clearly, even though Alexandre Fall is not 6'4", he can play huge. 29 years old, out of University of Virginia. Barsazi sending Desmarais. McCutcheon there, but he's got no play, but neither does Don.
And there's been chat about Barsazi playing a more conservative game. He's been a bit of a loose cannon. He's got a great deep shot, but they're trying to corral it in a little bit. That time I liked the shape out of the hand. I think he wanted a little bit of outside in and that. Maybe the altitude affected, not sure, but it did just carry out. And now a second break chance in a row for Truck.
I mean, the altitude is a real thing. I mean, anyone of any skill level can come throw in this mile-high conditions and think, whoa, I didn't realize I could throw it this well. And the disc just sails but 10 yards further on Hucks than it does at sea level. Interesting decision going to be made here. Jared Bennett conversing with Arthur Feller.
I'm pretty sure it was after.
It sounds like you just disagree on the one thing. Was it still in your hand or not? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you released it before.
Okay. You're welcome to just play as a contest as if we're not here, but I can also give a ruling if you need it.
I'd like to know what's your...
Okay. The observer ruling was that there was a foul here. The disc was still in his hand. Coming in on 1.
Jared Bennett, one of the newcomers to Truck Stop, University of Georgia product. He and Aiden Downey giving a little Georgia flavor to this DC squad. Ooh. And wow, we got another foul call. And it's no contest again.
Oh, I thought it was good. He must have had a bit of body before he stepped off and got the boot out, because the boot was clean out of hand. Back to 0 again.
Isaac Lee to Greenberg. Ben Greenberg back to Lee. Two of the young truck stop D-line contributors. Truck stop. Oh, was that another hand block? Arvids Karklin's got it cleanly. Karklin's has been known to get a hand block or a foot block every game almost, and he's got the bookends to go with it. Desmarais with a short flip for Arvids Karklin's. 3 years ago, he was known as Arvids Orlovskis. He took his wife's name after he got married, and he is coming into his own as an international superstar.
Vids. I think he's getting his just desserts right now. People are talking about Arvids, but I think one of the most underrated players. He is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Can do it as a big target to look at. His throwing range is incredible. Some of the deepest throws come out of hand so easy, and then he shows you what he can do defensively there on the mark. He's got such a big wingspan, but he'll check up the size 13 there as well, put a boot on it, and make it very difficult to get around. So nice stingy offense there. They got broken, or they turned the disc over, got it back once or twice with fouls on it, and stayed true, stayed gritty, and the big boot of Arvids Karklin's got it back for a very short conversion right back to him.
Second 0 point for Trucks. The first went very quickly on the huck to Boxley. Nissen working with Norbaum. Here's Boxley coming under. No Desmarais in the field for this D point for the Mooncatchers. As Aiden Downey finds Tyler Monroe. The veteran from Seattle dishes underneath to Gus Norbaum. Pressure in the backfield, but unsuccessful with the bid. And Wodach called for a travel. And now we're going to debate seconds again. Spauholtz on the mark.
Travel coming in 3.
Resolved tamely, and we continue. Norbaum for Nissen. And Jacques nearly overthrew Monroe, but he outstretched the arm to hang on. Boxley forces Monroe to make another tough catch. Tyler up to the task. To the end zone for Downey.
Monroe saved that possession for sure. Other than that, pretty quick movement. That is some classic small ball going through the hands. No stall counts beyond 2, 3 perhaps. Nice toe down for Downey. Not even a toe drag. There's the Monroe grab that saved the possession, but otherwise worked to that corner and doing what they do well. Interesting to see without Desmarais that the youngster Betrancourt getting the Boxley matchup, but little to be done on that corner.
Steph, as you've watched Truck Stop from afar the last few years develop their offensive style and have the success with it, what have been your thoughts watching them kind of evolve Ultimate in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that happens on the U.S. stage is micro. Not micro, it is macro. Everybody watches. They're taking as many notes as possible and trying to put as much into their game as possible. I think you see it in a lot of the Southern Europeans are trying to emulate the Italians, the Spanish, the small ball, and even now, the teams that have the big players and the big shots, Moon, Clapham's, they're putting wrinkles in and second looks that try to emulate. Whoa, Karklin's. You gotta be kidding.
Keeps the hammer alive. It was a daring, ambitious shot from Ref Yonkers. Thankfully, Arvids Karklin silky smooth at 6'5". 3-all here in the opening half. And look, Max Charles put together an amazing video before the U.S. Open asking the question, is small ball dead, after what we saw last year with Rhino winning nationals with the huck being a huge part of their game. I loved Max's video. And he never answered the question. He never definitively said, is small ball dead? He talked about time of possession and how that matters. It's a great video on Ultiworld's YouTube if you haven't seen it. But I think it's great that you can have, 1 year truck stop wins with small ball, and then the next year Rhino wins
with big ball.
With a deep game.
Yeah, it's, I'll never buy into one strategy only. I think you really have to have your roster set first, look at your skill sets, see what offensive style works best to the skill set you've got in front of you, and then choose what you're going to play with based on the competencies you have on the roster. I also think that you cannot just stick to one style. You've got to have your wrinkles. When things aren't working, when things aren't going wrong, when the opposition gives you something you've never seen, you got to be able to change that up and give them something else, and can't just say big ball or small ball, and that's what we hang our hat on.
Andrew Roy and SCH to Sean Mott, who gets it back to the middle for Jeff Wodach, who shoots it for Boxley. Big time steps, no chance for Spauholtz. 4-3 truck stop.
Now, that's just Wodach throwing open box. Spauholtz gave way too much space. But the throw, he recognized box was behind the defense. And there's no, Spauholtz, there's no excuse given that much room. I don't know if there was a switch that he got lost on, but giving the best player on the opposition 10 meters behind, especially after he's opened up this game, taking down a huck to get that offense going. That is something that the Mooncatchers coaching staff have got to address moving forward.
One break so far in this game. Truck stop getting it with the Alexandre Fall bookends. The other men's semifinal going on right now. San Francisco Revolver and Boston Dig. They're tied 4-all through 8 points. Benji to ref. Feller back to Benji. Right now, a big mismatch from a size perspective with a small Luke Rafis chasing the bigger ref Yonkers. A little surprised Rafis didn't pull the trigger with a bid. Crossfield shot continued to Karklins. Veteran David Cranston right there defensively, but the high release backhand is money in the bank for Arvids Karklins. It's a goal for David Barsazzi. The Italian ties it 4-all.
Moon offense looking sharp there. I thought there's a little bit of a risky shot from one sideline to the other there that ref took. But in the end, that's what broke open the space for Karklins to be able to see Barsazzi with a bit more room than he might have. As Karklins just continues to keep putting his imprint on this game. There's the big foot. Doing it all, making sure he's there in the corner, and this. Oh, what a bid to pick up that blammer. Ref throwing blade hammers, and one more assist. That's in real time now. Finding Barsazzi after ref broke the field open sideline to sideline to give him some space.
Steph, do you remember when you first saw Arvids Karklins play Frisbee?
Yes, I do. It was at an EUCF when he was playing Salaspils. They went on to win that. One of the only times the Latvian outfit has won the European Club Championship.
Nissen, did he put enough on it? No, that's way out of bounds. Not a throw that you usually see from Jacques Nissen, and Moon has its first break chance.
As such, the first turnover by the Truck O-line, so first blemish. Nissen gets one wrong. And
how long ago was this Salaspils, Arvids Karklins?
This is 2019. I'm going to check it out, make sure I get this right.
Abeltines initiates, and it can't be brought in by Betron Court. So Moon unable to complete a pass on their first break chance. Roy with a riser, and Tyler Monroe makes another tough grab. Third impressive reaching catch for Tymon. Physicality from 152 to another. Abelteen's on Norbaum. Gus with power position. He's a very patient, conservative player, and he smartly hits Nissen in the middle. Oh, miscommunication. Roy stopped cutting, and Jacques Nissen has turned it twice on the point. Deep shot the other way to the end zone, and a drop for Mooncatchers. Unbelievable. Van der Rost fumbles it away.
Unbelievable. The shot was perfect. That is a Leuven to Leuven, jet set to jet set connection. Both Don and Van der Rost from the small town outside of Brussels. He must have heard those footsteps from Nissen. Tough one to swallow.
Only 3 total turnovers in the first 8 points. And now 4 turnovers on this point as Miles Grovic catches the under. A.J. Merriman's pass goes through the hands of Gus Norbaum, and this madness continues. Third break opportunity for Mooncatchers. This is Alexander Spauholz. Back to Don Desmarais. Abelteen's. Feels like this is going to have to be the Desmarais takeover point. To the middle for Van der Rost. Pretty good defense in the stack from Grovic. It's Abelteen's, marked by Norbaum. Hammer cross field, brought in by Misha Marek. Moon closing in on their first break of the semifinal. It's Desmarais on the doorstep, not in yet. Over the top, open receiver, Mooncatchers break. Third time the charm, and Belgium takes the 5-4 lead.
It's like you can see it happening, Evan. The Desmarais show ready. He didn't completely take over, but made sure he got his touches, put himself in a position to score. I thought it might have gone the inverse of the shot they missed earlier between the Leuvenites, but it was Don taking a deep breath there, looking across the entire width of the end zone. And by the time he saw the one clear white jersey, it was on the opposite side, and without hesitation pulled out the hammer to finish the job. A crazy point again after such a clean start to get 5 turns in that last point. That's what it's going to take to get the breaks for Moon. And yeah, I mean, it's very entertaining stuff when a couple spill like that, and you got to see who can pick up the pieces first, and in this case it was the Mooncatchers.
Desmarais staying out there for the ensuing deep point. Truck stop with some different faces, although Jacques Nissen stays out there, so does Andrew Roy and A.J. Merriman.
And did that come back in? Not quite, and that's going to be a tough entry point, but this altitude, I keep hearing about it. We're seeing so much of it in this game. People putting shape on throws. You get one sense of the throw carrying further. A flat shot, you drop a laser, and it's going to carry. But what also is happening is these shapely throws, the outside ins, the insides out, that string you pull to make it come the other way is just getting pulled later, and there's way less return on the curvatures.
Oh, a poach block attempt from Abelteen's, and he narrowly came up empty. Desmarais now switched on to Monroe, who gets it to Boxley in the middle. Aiden Downey unguarded. 5-all. Mooncatchers created some pressure, though. Had a couple defenders that thought they had the block.
You got to risk it for the biscuit. And, I mean, in the end, that's a wide open score for Truck Stop. But I think there's some value at how close they were to getting that block. Appleton's peeling off in the lane, that high traffic. There it is, bodies flying in both directions. And from then on out, this was made to be relatively easy. Defenders trying to catch up to their marks. And once they got to the far side of the field, you get this wide open look to Downey. And Truck level things up. We're on serve.
Yeah, 4 of their 5 O points have been clean holds, and the other one was a 3-turnover Mooncatchers break.
So just to go back to the Arvid's car clinch, he was Orlovsky's back then, but it was the 2019 final. Well, Groot were on a big old run of winning championships, at least 3 in a row prior to that.
Men's or mixed?
This is mixed. And yeah, Salispils, after that, he left playing mix, and he got a call from Ref Yonkers, I think, maybe 2 years after, definitely no more than 2 years after, and has been a Mooncatcher ever since.
To the end zone, a contested battle, and it's out of bounds.
That throw from Benji Yonkers. Again, it was another one with the shape on it. There's an outside-in backhand. One that he really would have backed Soph for had it stayed in bounds. I think Soph might have got lost where the line was there, too. He may have been able to wait it out, but with the defense that close, he's taking a gamble in either sense.
It's the 5th turnover for the Mooncatchers. Isaac Lee hammers it for A.J. Merriman, who launches the big backhand. Alexandre Fall wins the aerial race again. Huge first half for Alexandre Fall. Truck Stop breaks for the second time. Not a bad throw from A.J. either.
I think that's where I'm going. I love Fall's speed. I love the breakaway, but what I love from A.J. Merriman is how quickly he caught and delivered. The hammer that came, flying at the chest. He did a good job to put the whole body behind it, make sure if, that bounce is wrong, he's all there to receive it. But he must have had one eye on Fall, because all he did was catch this laser of a hammer, turn, pivot, and deliver that huck. But Fall, he's having a day out there.
And he's had a knack in big games throughout his career to be a difference maker on the D-line. I mean, the type of guy that can swing games in bracket play at nationals, and he's showing you his tool set here today.
Yeah, Fall has been doing it with Truck. First time I saw Fall doing it, he was doing it for Chalk at the 2022 Cincinnati World Ultimate Club Championships. Joined over with Jacques Nissen.
That's right.
And was a great contributor. Put him on that D-line there. Chalk loved having him. He loved being with the French contingent there, and has seemingly just been getting better and better, and putting it all on display here. U.S. Open on the grand stage in the semifinals.
By the way, update from next door. Revolver has taken a 7-6 lead on Dig. 6-5 here. We started a little bit later than they did. We're about 5-10 minutes behind them. Arvids Karklins back to Benji Yonkers. And Don Desmarais marked by Charlie McCutcheon. Desmarais looking downfield. Now seeking a reset. Yonkers beats Greenberg up the line. Poached defender Isaac Lee came into the lane to prevent the up line to Desmarais. Don still seeking it, finds it. Christian Johnson, the veteran journeyman, out there defensively in the reset space, but there's a Yonkers brother wide open in the end zone. And we are tied once again, 6-all. We have had 3 breaks, but we have still been tied at every number so far in this game.
Well, if we get to that, if we stay like this, we'll see that separation on the other side of the half. But for now, it is. I thought this was a really good defensive point for Truck. They're really making it hard for anyone to find a way out of the stack. They did a great job bracketing and surrounding, taking away options. I like the way they're keying off on Desmarais. You saw him try to go up line and some help came. They'll poach away. But I do also like the way that Moon responded. They recognized the upfield was getting stymied. They went to the dominator. They worked between Benji and Don for the bulk of those touches. And in the end, it was Benji who recognized a poach off and got all sorts of separation to find himself free for a big up line for the goal.
Jack Nissen, couple turns, couple points ago. Gets it to Norabam, who dishes for Boxley. Downey coming under now. Wodach is next.
Spalholtz flying through.
To Nissen. Boxley. Another big bid from Spalholtz. First touch of the possession for Sean Mott. Looking for Aiden Downey. Bullseye. 2 truck stop rookies collaborating to put this DC squad in front again, 7-6.
Heck of a first touch, Sean Mott. Look up fields. Downey wide open. Nice blade. And big separation. Abeltinch gave him some room on the break side. And that throw blew open that force. Loved the work by Spalholtz on that one. I think it was never going to get the first one. Second one was closer, but you got to love that mounting pressure that they're bringing. Well absorbed by Truck. Shaken off, find their way in. 7-6, Truck up 1.
Aiden Downey, the 2024 Callahan winner. Seen the 2025 winner Dexter Clyburn playing with Revolver. Raekwon Atkins, another young Revolver star, had the game winner on Universe to beat Pony. Here's Ref Yonkers shooting it deep. Sofiane Bontemps in the end zone wins the battle with Jasper Tom. 7-7.
Boom, Bontemps coming up big. Ref Yonkers sends the haymaker. Bontemps up early behind the defense, lands hard, hits the ground. See him chuck the hat off to go get it. That's something that always gets me flustered, that people got to take a second to check the hat off.
Steph, I feel like it's easy to overlook Bontemps. You know, he's overshadowed maybe by Toba de Kraan on the U24 Belgian team. He's overshadowed by Don joining Chicago Machine, but he's really good too.
Oh, he's incredible. I love Bontemps. He was awesome over there. You know, if he's got to be Robin to a Batman, that's fine. I'm sure he doesn't care. He wants to be on a team that can win. And right now they're in a position. This is anybody's game. Could it be Bontemps getting across? Moon 7, Truck 7. Still first half, men's semifinal.
DC Truck Stop will receive the next 2 pulls. This one to end the first half and then another to start the second half. What will the score be the next time the Mooncatchers have the disc on offense?
Evan, I know it's not huge in the U.S., but we call this Galaxy Point over in Europe. So with all our European viewers for this one.
I think the first time I ever used that term was during the Sockeye Mooncatchers quarterfinal 3 years ago. Rewatched the game the other night and was reminded. Worked that with our mutual buddy Liam Grant, who I imagine if he's not watching this live right now in Ireland, he'll probably watch it first thing tomorrow morning.
I bet lots he's watching live.
Downey working with Monroe. It's funny, if you're a truck stop D-liner, you can just chill for a little bit because you got this point, halftime, and then another O point coming up. Regardless of the result. Truck stop has had an historically great offense in recent years. They were stunned in the final by Bravo in 22, won the title in 23. A little bit of a down year, if you can say that, losing in quarters to the eventual champion Rhino last year. And there's an incredible block on the goal line. Welcome to the point, Don Desmarais. Mooncatchers break chance to take half coming up.
Just as I was thinking, they were getting a little bit tired out there. There was a switch that didn't happen. Spalholtz and Louis Betrancourt, I think, and Barsazi. A little bit of confusion who had who on a switch there. We got a timeout taken, and I don't mind that one bit. But the next throw after this seeming confusion.
Stefan, how dare you accuse Don Desmarais of looking tired? How dare you?
Not him. It was the other three in the switching. And as soon as it went beyond them, next level, Don Desmarais. Damn, is there anything he can't do? He just keeps doing, giving more, raising the bar. And the expectation level keeps soaring for what this young man can accomplish.
Ultiworld's European Player of the Year in 2024 for helping to lead the Mooncatchers to an EUCF championship.
2 years in a row, he was the Player of the Year prior, despite having to settle for the silver.
And we asked him after the machine game, he said he was getting heckled by his Chicago teammates. They were saying that you look tired, Don, and he says when you're chasing plastic, it's really hard to feel tired.
And that's something that we all kind of get, but not like he does.
Yeah, and he was dealing with a groin issue in the second half of the Chain Lightning game, their second game of pool play yesterday after they beat Machine. That was another great game that Mooncatchers got a late break or two to put away. Atlanta, I was really impressed with. They beat Machine, and then they had Mooncatchers on the ropes, and then all of a sudden they lose on Universe to Lafota and miss the quarters. Arvids Karklin's looking for Desmarais, too far. Perhaps another throw where the altitude wreaks a little havoc.
I was excited seeing the matchup in the isolation space. Box was taking on Desmarais.
At sea level, I think this is a completion.
He got the separation, but he didn't have enough field to work with.
Andrew Roy does not huck very often. Jeff Wodach chased by Spauholtz, and it's Wodach ripping it down. 38 years old and better than ever. Jeff Wodach takes it to half for Truck Stop.
What a take, Wodach. You got the big, powering Austrian churning behind you. He's been throwing his body around with reckless abandon, more so horizontally, but goes up big. But Wodach feels no pressure, absorbs a tiny bit of physical contact, and takes down a huge rip for Truck Stop to take half, putting him in the position for this 2-0. As you mentioned, they'll take offense to open up the second half.
Well, you know, Nissen to Boxley I would have understood, or Aiden Downey to Tyler Monroe. But I wouldn't have had Roy to Wodach to take it to half. What a play for DC's heart and soul, Jeff Wodach puts Truck Stop in front by 1 break at halftime here in the men's semis. With Truck Stop leading Mooncatchers 8-7. Truck is up a break and will receive to start the second half. It's always a pleasure to talk Frisbee with Lauren Boyle, the coach of DC Truck Stop. High-level game, Lauren. 15 points, just 11 turns. What's it like from the sideline?
Oh, it's electric. We're really playing as a full unit. Defense supporting offense, offense supporting D, and it's just one big truck out there.
Great clash of styles, these two offenses. The small ball become famous in DC, taking on these big shooting Belgians. What are you guys doing to you've been effectively countering them, but what are you working with to try and slow down this big shooting offense?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about with just small ball. We had a big Marcus Lee hammer to an AJ bomber to Alexandre Fall. So, I mean, we love the small ball, but we're here to show that we play all sides of the field just as strong.
Jeff Wodach taking it to half.
Oh, my gosh.
He's been on this team for so long. I know he means a lot to so many young guys in D.C. What's it like watching him still do his thing at age 38?
I love watching all these guys try to lay out D. Jeff. He just goes to the disc so hard, and you just saw that there. That man is full of confidence, and he just comes down with it. It's great.
Head into the second half, Lauren. What's the quick thought as how you win this game?
It's really making sure our defenders get out of their heads and into their legs so that they can perform. When we start thinking too much, we're slow, and when we just are doing what Truck does, we're our best selves.
All righty. Hope you're enjoying it half as much as we are, because it's fun to watch. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank you.
Lauren Boyle, head coach of DC Truck Stop. 5 clean holds apiece, Stefan. As I mentioned, only 11 total turns, and Mooncatchers with more break chances, but Truck a little more efficient.
And that's what it comes down to. There's so few chances. 4-3 is really not that much in this first half. Moon are going to have to just do a little bit better. It does bode well for the second half. You increase that efficiency ever so slightly, and you can erase any deficit, especially one that's 1 point now. The potential to see it as 2. But let's go back and enjoy indeed. Oh, Alexandre Fall getting the bookends here. Ref Yonkers having to play catch up. Oh, Karklins with the big boot. And then Karklins again. I mean, I don't even know if I can pick a favorite moment in this game. I think I've had a couple, and they've just been usurped one after the other.
Well, I like what Lauren said, rejecting your premise of the small ball question, because we have seen them let it rip.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, I felt like I put my foot in my mouth as soon as she said it. I think I was saying traditional small ball, but she's absolutely right. They've been letting them rip, and boy, oh boy, does that make for some ultimate.
Baholtz has a couple inches at least on Wodach, but Jeff read it well. Wodach had a great huck to Boxley, and then he runs down the huck from Roy. Truck Stop receiving up 1 when we come back to Colorado. Welcome back to Ultimate Paradise 2025, Aurora, Colorado, the U.S. Open. 4 incredible international programs in the men's division. It was so much fun watching Buzz Bullets as they beat the 1 seed Rhino in their first game yesterday. La Fota took down Chain, the Italians with a marquee win. We obviously saw Clapham play tough against Revolver and Truck Stop in their pool, and then Clapham played the Mooncatchers tough, but the Belgians are the best in Europe right now, and they're challenging one of America's best. Jacques Nissen working with Andrew Roy in tight spaces in the backfield. Evan Lepler, Stefan Rapazzo, and our fantastic Ultiworld production crew would not want to be anywhere else right here, right now. Grovic, typically thought of as a D-line guy coming out of Maryland, but he's played some offense this weekend as Sean Mott launches for Boxley. Mott with another dime, and Boxley, that's too easy.
Betrancourt looks back and wonders how that gets out. They must have been on some sort of no-huck agreement, but Betrancourt's been switched on to box. He's had that assignment since the first point we saw Don on him. And Box is having his way right now. He's getting all sorts of separation. Tough man to stop no matter what. You take away the under, he'll expose that deep. You take away the deep, he'll expose you on the under. But right now, Betrancourt's got his hands full, the young speedster out of Brussels. And Mott looking good. I mean, has he had more than 2 touches to get those 2 assists? I'm sure a couple more, yes, but not many more.
I mean, there are great throws, and then there are dimes, and then there's that transcendent platter just floating perfectly toss that we just saw from Mott. And chatting with our colleague Keith Rayner here at halftime, he brought up the great point of the evolution of this Truck offense. They lose Rowan McDonald, the guy they kind of build things around to win the 2023 title. And then obviously Johnny Malks moving out to the Pacific Northwest, gone from last year's group, changes the shape of the squad. Cole Jurek, who they certainly think of one of their premier cutters, he's still battling a nagging injury. So
Troy Holland part of that exodus as well.
No doubt about it.
But they keep finding ways to put it together, retooling. And
Aiden Downey, Sean Mott, Miles Grovic stepping in. AJ Merriman too, playing more offense this year. Carkland's high release for Bontemps. Both Bontemps and Desmarais will be playing with Chicago Machine at Nationals this fall, if Machine makes it to Nationals after their performance this weekend. Uninspiring stuff from the fellas from the Windy City. I expect them to be in San Diego, perhaps very motivated from my cheap shots. The Yonkers brothers, and Benji took a little hit in the back of the leg, but he's back up. And a pick in the middle of the field with Desmarais making the catch. Don Desmarais just turned 24 in May. Scary to think of what he could look like when he reaches his prime, Steph. Bontemps in the end zone for Mooncatchers.
Very simple out of Bontemps. Was looking to the center of the field. His shoulders squared, his hips squared, looking back to the center. He must have had his head on a swivel, one eye over, looking to the end zone, because as soon as he saw the move, he turned and fired. Let's go back. It's Feller, sorry. Feller looking all eyes inside until he sees a step out of Bontemps, and then in the pivot, releases the backhand, up line, short strike. Feller continuing to improve on his comeback tour here. I already think he's better than he ever was prior to the injury, which is very seldom seen. Players, a very good player goes out ACL, big injury, big recovery, does all the work, puts it in. And he's come back now. And Belgian Nationals, I saw him. Toms, I saw him. Seeing him again here, he's playing as good as I've ever seen.
Desmarais with a pretty good pull. Truck stop with a 1-goal lead. Nissen leaping with a lefty snag. Downey back for Roy. Here's Wodach. Nissen for Norbaum. Monroe changes directions downfield, now comes back underneath into the handler set. Red zone offense from DC. Smooth sailing as Boxley dishes back for Nissen. Perhaps no team in the world has been more patient in these types of situations in recent years than DC Truck Stop. Monroe to Downey, and it's 10-8.
Now, I don't know where the force was meant to be, what defense they're playing. I know they've been implementing some AP there, but Spalholz took a chance on the final touch here. Tried to cross over and take away the potential open box, but Don had covered it up. As you see, next throw as it comes back to center. But here, Spalholz crosses, hoping to cut away box, and just left that lane open to Downey and gave no chance to defend for the coverage. So well played by Truck, adapting to what the defense is giving. Spalholz, I understand why he went over and crossed to the other side, but it did give a very open shot for the goal.
DC by 2, Merriman's pull fading OB and into a tent. What's the difference between Ben Yonkers and Ref Yonkers?
Lots now. I used to see them as similar players. Benji has committed to being a stay-at-home handler. He's a power thrower. He's got great, strong fakes. Probably not the strongest part of his game, but throws them so well. Ref is way more of an upfield target. He's got those throws, but he takes them out of initiation, comes out of an upfield position, turns and delivers. But Benji is really a very traditional handler in a cutter or receiver body turn there.
Arvids Karklins did not see Musa Jah, who launches deep. Marcus Lee, oh my goodness, he dropped it. A little too casual.
I think that's a lot too casual. One hand up for that one, all alone with steps. He was seeing the scoreboard turn over already. And that one, it would have hurt the Mooncatchers. That is a big break for them if they can manage this hold.
That's a drop that'll haunt you in your dreams. Unless you can get a block and make up for it. Benji bluffs the big backhand. First 2 turns of the second half in succession. Here's Karklins, marked by Merriman. De Ritter quickly gives it up. Again, Benji takes his time, dishes to his brother. Bloodgood switched off onto Ref. And now he'll set the mark. Forcing forehand, and that's where Ref goes, and he's got Bontemps open, and he elevates for another spectacular score. And after the Marcus Lee drop at one end, Sofiane Bontemps brings the Mooncatchers back within 1. Some twists and turns to that last point, Stefan.
Yeah, I love seeing that come back. And this, this really does hurt. As you said, stuff nightmares are made of. Hopefully for Lee, he'll get a chance to come back and do something. But if you watch here, if you stop it right there, as we come out, this space is so amazing for ref to be able to find all alone in this area here. And the Mooncatchers did a great job to reset, put a side stack up, and then it was made so easy for ref to go back the other way. Sofiane Bontemps had to make an incredible play. That was a great high take he had, but he was it was able to come to fruition because they reset that stack. Ref did a great job recognizing the big space, stepped in to a power position, and pulled the trigger.
Aiden Downey marked by Tom's Appletons. Appletons, by the way, had at least 3 blocks in the Clapham game in the quarterfinals. Really big game for the Moon D-line. Here's Sean Mott, who hadn't touched the disc very much, but he's done spectacular stuff when he's had the opportunity. Quietly dishes to Norbaum, who swings for Boxley. Another big game for Christian Boxley so far. 2 goals and 1 assist.
Yes, yes!
Uncontested foul in the stack. Winner of this game advances to play in the U.S. Open men's final tomorrow. 2 p.m. local time, 4 o'clock Eastern. Boxley working with Norbaum, who breaks the mark for Nissen. And Aiden Downey open by an inch, and that's all he needed. Still wearing his old Atlanta Hustle hat.
A little bit of love. Recognizing the roots. And Truck Stop able to recognize a whole bunch of small spaces availing themselves there. I thought Don was doing quite a good job on box. But in the end, they found those inches. They stayed patient. And Downey, again, has been, to some extent Johnny on the spot, but just great anticipation, waiting for the play to come to him. Has been a great place to score goals here.
Yeah, that's 1. This is going to be a heck of a reel, because there's 2. And he's just getting started. Sean Mott, Downey wide open again. That's 3. Monroe dishing number 4. And then Jacques joins the party. 5 of the 11 DC scores belong to former Callahan winner out of University of Georgia. Moon back on offense. Ambitious shot. Karklin's in the back corner of the end zone, ruled inbounds by the observer. And Sofiane Bontemps breathes a sigh of relief as that throw looked like it might sail well into the fans packing the sidelines. But Karklin's has length for days.
Wow, Sofiane Bontemps, wildly ambitious. That throw, if that was a hammer, if it was something that had a little bit of float crossing the field, I see the logic. I understand it a bit more, but he's throwing to Arvids Karklins. He's got the space. Blading. Well done, Arvids, to keep that foot down. A little toe drag swag by the big Latvian, crashing into the ground. He's not bothered by that. But Sofiane Bontemps is not the throw I would have seen. Great vision. He knows what he's doing out there. And those two link up for a crucial score, bring it back to within 1 on serve in the second half. 2 turns on the same point in the second half. And a 1-goal lead for DC Truck Stop.
Steph, can you speak to the American audience about how this Mooncatchers team was built, pulling in players from different European countries and just what that dynamic is like. Because you told me yesterday that, you know, the Mooncatchers and Gentle very rarely cross over. Gentle, the other top club team from Belgium.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of playing for your home team, but this team has put together a bunch of all-stars to all come together.
Yeah, imagine if Toba Ducran joined, but no, though, they are rivals. They do not mix oil with water like that. This one's up.
Merriman launching. Boxley's not going to get this one, and Mooncatchers have a break chance, trailing by 1.
But, yeah, I mean, they've done a great job. They were very much a Brussels unit for a long time. They started pulling in from the club next door. That's where they got Dan Desmarais from. And at the same time, you know, with the World Clubs coming up, we're starting to add international talent. Gaël Onslin came knocking at their door after Is No Good refused to take him, which was a head shaker to me while I was coaching, I'll say. And picking up these pieces that we talked about, you know, Joe White in Isno helped open the door to get Johnny Bansfield and Paul Arders over there. The Latvians were first one at a time, but they had 3 with Didzis Maldaris, as well as Abeltinch and Karklins, who have stayed and found a home there. Now they get Spalholz, then they add Barsazi. It's one at a time, and they just are adding these spectacular players to a great foundation now.
There was an injury sub. Downey came on for DC, Karklins for the Mooncatchers. Karklin's thinking about it. Big gainer underneath for Desmarais. Continues toward the potential equalizer. Looking end zone. Spalholz wide open. It's a good goal. And we are deadlocked. 11-all.
Back on serve. Louis Betrancourt with the dime. I mean, that's not his job. He's a D-liner. He is a hard runner, but he is another one that has so much competencies in this game. He picked up as an ex-footballer, soccer player, and was immediately impactful because of his athleticism. You see, he's getting a Boxley assignment 3 years into playing, maybe 4 for Betrancourt. And then gets this, sees the newest import, the second newest.
Looks like a handler to me.
Alexander Spalholz throws him open, drops a dot on the big fella, and potentially the most important goal of the game up to this point. But the way this game's going, I suspect we got some more important points coming.
Alexandre Fall has caught both breaks for DC. Alexander Spalholz has caught both breaks for Mooncatchers. And this is a Mooncatchers team that was the 29 seed at Club Worlds 3 years ago in Cincinnati. But they beat Rhino in pool play. They beat Goat on Universe in pre-quarters. And then the classic quarterfinal against Seattle Sockeye. That went down to the wire. I'm excited to see the Gal on Salon Footblock here again.
This was just a wild game. The free child triple spike there. A young Gaetan van den Broek. And we're going to see Gaël Onslin soon. We see a lot of familiar faces. There's Mathieu Muller showing the class. But that is the big one that broke it open.
12-all. With Sockeye potentially going to take the lead. Instead, Arvid Zorlovskis from the American Paul Arders.
They became the darlings of the Ultimate World after that victory, winning the hearts of Belgians, Europeans, and Ultimate fans all over.
Mooncatchers, one of 2 European teams that made it to semis along with Clapham. The final, of course, the rematch of the 2021 National Championship game here in the U.S., with Pony avenging their loss from the previous fall and becoming world champs. My friend Brian Jones took exception when I said that the Mooncatchers were the story of the tournament at Worlds, because he said, well, we had a pretty good story of the tournament too, Evan.
And the gold medal.
Yes, indeed. That was a crazy Jeff Babbitt game in the final against Ring. We got a crazy good game here too. Who's going to play the winner of the revolver dig game tomorrow? Aiden Downey making a strong case for his DC club. He's got half of their 12 goals.
Well, end zone Malone there. Downey can't stop that man in the end zone, having his way.
I mean, it's similar stats to like the game Jeff Babbitt had in the World Championship final, but Downey doing it a little differently in the truck stop offense. A little difference in stature, too, between Babbitt and Downey.
Yeah.
Both in good shape in different ways.
Yeah, a little bit more shoulder on Babbitt, we'll say. But Downey is finding separation, and, you know, if Moon haven't picked up on this, they've got to know by now that he's the one who's slipping away, you know, second, third cuts, waiting it out, waiting for the right moment. He's not part of the churn of the offense, but he is great late anticipation, late continuation, and he's been wildly open for the better part of his goals. For more than half of goals, he's had all sorts of space around him.
Mooncatchers on offense down by 1. Great semifinal here. It's also a great game. Revolver just scored to go up 13-12 on Dig.
Backfield rail coming in 3-2-1 check-in. A 3-2-1 check-in, if you would.
Only 3 turnovers in the second half, just 14 total turns in the game. Since Truck Stop got to half first, it's the Mooncatchers that are in the position of needing that extra break to win. Bonton. And another pick in the middle of the field. This is part of the build-up towards 2026 Worlds in Limerick, Ireland, next summer.
Sunny, sunny Limerick, they say. Lovely spot, though.
1.
I've heard great things.
The weather can change a lot, I'll say that.
Well, we've found that here in Colorado, too. Turned into a beautiful afternoon, early evening for Ultimate, but a mistake. And another stat for Alexandre Fall. Make sure you mark down that block. He's got 2 goals. He's got a couple of blocks. He's been the star for the DCD line. And he's going to run this down. No, even he can't get that one with a stall count rising. Bloodgood threw it away. Missed opportunity for DC to strengthen their grip.
Fall will be happy to take that block stat. But I think, like, this is, you know, I can understand how Benji Yonkers let go of that. You got somebody as shifty as Don Desmarais. He gave a good step. I think Don acknowledged as well, like, yeah, I can understand why you threw that. He gave a hard jab step, turned away, and that's all it took for him to have vanished from the throwing lane Benji thought he had.
Desmarais going deep. Fall is with him stride for stride, and a collision in the stack. Jasper Tom may have bumped heads with his Mooncatchers counterpart.
Looks like Carklint's on the ground. He is holding the back of his head, and there's an open face.
Oh my, yeah, Jasper hit in the forehead or eye area, and he's gonna need some work. Middle of your screen, ooh.
And the innocents there, they were not on one another. Arvid's cut out to cut in what will surely be, you know, really only just a pick, but a very heavy pick. And we'll hope that Tom will be able to play again in this game and hope that he's all right more than anything. But that was some heavy impact to open up the forehead.
We could debate this for a long time, I bet, of who is at fault in that situation. And I think, by and large, on the edges, that's just a tough break.
Yeah, I agree. There was very little either one of them could have done to have prevented that.
I mean, if anything, it's on the cutter that Tom was chasing, kind of running him that close to Karkland's. Oh, there's a great handler block by David Bloodgood on Benji Yonkers. Bloodgood picks up. Second break chance of the point for DC. Ja to Fall. Alexandre Fall does it again. He's the man in the end zone for DC's D. 13-11.
Now that block was incredible by Bloodgood, breaking up the fraternal connection between Ref and Benji. Ref probably could have, of course, could have stood to put a bit more shape on that, bit more spin on that, get it there quickly. But as soon as Bloodgood had it, it was black shirts rushing towards the end zone. And of course, it's Fall on the break conversion once again. And now it's turning into a very tight corner that the Mooncatchers have been backed into. You know, 2 away and 2 ahead. I still say this is a position where there is no, but obviously the way this game's gone, it is not over. It's not a comfortable position yet for Truck Stop, but it's got to feel good getting this late break 2 away. You know, big pressure on the Mooncatchers. Now they've got to hold it and then really break their way through this game. They can ill afford more than one more hold.
They did come back in their first game of the tournament against Machine. They trailed 11-9. They won that game 15-12, so it was a 6-1 run to close. Can they produce some sort of 4-1 magic here to get back in this thing? By the way, Revolver broke Dig in the other semi, so they're up 14-12, looking to break to win. Deep shot looking for Desmarais. He's got steps on McCutcheon, but from behind, McCutcheon gets a piece of it.
Desmarais in disbelief. He did have position. McCutcheon, I got to see if he got a big piece of this or if it was off the hands of Desmarais.
Just a stone cold drop. You're right, Steph. A stunner. Maybe that'll make Marcus Lee feel a little bit better. If the best player in the world can make that mistake, it can happen to anybody. That's for sure. Tough spot, though, for Belgium's Mooncatchers. McCutcheon bumped. See PA, Pierre-Alain Delamine de Bex, coach of the Mooncatchers, on the sideline. Started off as a player for this Mooncatchers team almost a quarter of a century ago, and that was just a careless, casual mistake from Christian Johnson.
Throw right into the defender, David Barsazi.
Yeah, easy steal for Barsazi. And a fresh canister of oxygen, perhaps, into the lungs of these Mooncatchers. Crossfield, off the hand, off the head, to the hammer. Bontemps. That was some wizardry from Ref Yonkers. Not the way you draw it up, but it still works, and it's a 1-goal game again.
This is more vintage Mooncatchers 2020, where they got away with anything and were willing to chuck anything. Ref Yonkers was charging down hard on that. I can understand the bobble. Did a great job. I think he pressed it against his head to actually secure the catch there. Looked up, fired the hammer. That's the more impressive part, of course, as we have a look at that. And there's
doink.
Doink. There it is, into the hands, not off the head, but immediately looking up. And, you know, when you get those bobbles and those instances where there's some uncertainty, the concentration may feel like it has dropped or lapsed. You sometimes second guess your next option. Certainly out of hand. That didn't happen to Ref Yonkers. He bobbled, caught his grip, looked upfield, and fired that hammer. But it was the right throw. That was what the spacing was wanting. Desmarais is out there again. He's not coming off the field. I will tell you that right now.
His pull is just out of bounds. Meanwhile, Revolver just finished off dig. Leo Gordon catching the game winner. Jacques Nissen and Leo Gordon led Brown to a college championship just over a year ago in Madison, Wisconsin. It is seemingly likely they'll go head-to-head in the finals. Aiden Downey in a crowd. Desmarais gets the block. Sean Mott flirting with fire and finally gets burned.
Wow, two things that have been working for Truck so well as Sean Mott dimes and Aiden Downey being open in the end zone. And Desmarais comes here as help defense. Downey was not his assignment. Takes the inside lane and really got a fingertip at the high point there.
Abeltine shoots it. Downey versus Karklins. Oh! My goodness! Arvids to a different stratosphere. Mooncatchers so close to the equalizer. Incredible stuff from some of the greatest stars in the sport. Desmarais the D, Karklins the incredible Sky. Can they get across the line on this point? Arvids again! We are tied at 13s. Subscribers, if you'd like to donate to Ultiworld for bringing you games like this is as good as it gets. We appreciate your subscriptions and supporting this awesome Ultimate.
Now that's just the Latvian space program getting its first international exposure. Arvids came off. This sequence of highlights is mind-blowing. That Desmarais touch was madness. And then for it to go the other way, look, oh my goodness, Arvids Karklins climbing on the back over the shoulder. Boxley trying to help, but nothing is preventing it from the hand of that Latvian giant. I'm very happy. It took another 6 to 8 throws for them to go laterally, reset their space, and I'm very happy that it was Arvids again in the end zone to finish the job there. The big smiling Latvian, a class act, and a man that really needs to have the world of Ultimate hearing his praises sung, because he is a force of nature, not to be reckoned with.
He's a bit of a showman, but not in an arrogant way. He loves the game. You can sense that about him. He's passionate, obviously crazy skilled. And just take a deep breath for a second. What was going through your mind when Tom's Abeltines let that first shot go?
I think we both stood up immediately. I put both hands down on the table, like waiting for it to happen. I think I could feel that something big was going to happen. I did not think it was going to be that big. That was just massive by Arvids. I guess that was my expectation, but seeing it happen just exceeded it immediately.
I thought Downey had decent position, but obviously Karklins, the taller of the two, and be interested to see Alexandre Fall versus Arvids Karklins in a vertical jump competition. That'd be pretty good. Nissen lets it roll out the back. Andrew Roy will initiate from the front of the end zone. Abeltine stays out there, so does Karklins, so does Desmarais, Barsazzi as well.
Surprise, surprise.
Betrancourt downfield guarding Boxley. Tight window throw, Karklins flying by Merriman. Little hesitation from Monroe, but no harm done. And here's Roy. Merriman tossed one turn in the second half. Completes this one for Downey. And now Mott. Sean Mott has not been bashful about taking the shot. Stall count rising, reset Roy. Nissen for box. Back to Jacques. The end zone offense for DC Truck Stop. Can it stay reliable? Monroe near the pylon. Gets it off the line to Boxley. Floater, Roy. And Andrew Roy, a quick dish from A.J. Merriman. Quick give go, 14-13. It's a shame that we only have 1 or 2 more points in this game, because we could play to 100, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I got nowhere else to be, I'll tell you that. That's a good possession by Truck in the high-pressure situation here. These are the offensive possessions where, you know, palms get sweaty, mom's spaghetti kind of situations, but they handled it well, worked upfield. I like Roy really folded the body into that one, shoveled in by Merriman, but they did take their time. They did not force it in. There's a couple instances in the short field set where they probably saw a seam or two and didn't pull the trigger, kept the lateral movement, waited for the absolute right opening. I like that Merriman, when he did see it, you know, that one was no hesitation, put it in, the short throw, short and hard for the goal. But you see how good this game is. Anybody who's not playing right now, game's finished, the sideline's filling up, everybody's here for it. I mean, Mooncatchers could do us one more favor, a little hold here, and give us a universe. I feel it's going to happen.
That would be nice. I would not complain. DC Truck Stop, probably the only folks that would be disappointed in that. They expect a break to win right here. Feller handles the pull, gets it to Benji Yonkers. Bloodgood on the mark, bouncing around. Marcus Lee staying close with Feller in the backfield, and here's Ref Yonkers. Musa Ja, his shadow. Communication downfield. It's McCutcheon on Desmarais. Fall chasing around Bontemps. Incredible tension here at the 2025 U.S. Open. Unfortunately, one of these teams has to settle for a spot in the third place game. Revolver awaits the winner. Barsazzi leaves his feet. Acrobatic snag. Pretty patient possession so far for the Mooncatchers until now. High stall hammer. Ref Yonkers in the end zone. Incomplete. Musa Ja right there defensively. And Truck has the disc and a chance to win.
You got to credit the Truck defense for putting him in a situation to have to throw that. But Sazi couldn't find answers and just threw the floater, haymaker of a hammer. And now chance to win this for Truck Stop.
Part of it was the Mooncatchers' patience, and the other part was just the stingy downfield defense from DC. Now they're grooving toward the game winner. Merriman shoots it. It's been Alexandre Fall's day, and he will carry Truck Stop all the way to the final. Alexandre Fall eliminates the Mooncatchers from the championship bracket as Truck Stop prevails 15-13 in an instant classic here in Colorado.
Four goals and 2 blocks for Alexandre Fall. A huge game. None more important than that one, the game-winning goal. Mooncatchers left it all out there, but no reset that Barsazzi could find. As soon as that left his hands, the potential for completion felt like a very low percentage, and Truck taking advantage of the situation, coming back the other way, and Alexandre Fall, what a game he had. Downey, Mott, Box, a fabulous game
Downey had 6 goals. Fall had 4. Also a couple blocks. What a game. We'll be back to wrap it up. Truck stop. Heading to the final to face Revolver tomorrow.
The 2025 U.S. Open Club Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Your place for all your Ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun.
Truck stop 15. Mooncatchers 13. Alexandre Fall with 4 goals. Truck stop had 4 breaks. Fall, congratulations, man. You told me before the game you were feeling good physically. Clearly you were not lying. What was this game like to be a part of?
It was amazing. That is rare intensity for a game this early in the season. Mooncatchers absolutely brought it, and they pushed us to our limits. So feel grateful to be in a game like that. That was awesome. It was really awesome.
What's the deal with this kneeling celebration,
Oh,
Paul,
my
as we
goodness.
see your entire team behind you?
I think it's no secret that I run a lot. That's how I play my defense. And then whenever I score, I'm just gassed. So a few years ago, actually, whenever I'd score, I'd just be kneeling, and then the entire team would just come and kneel with me. And that's just a thing. Now my cardio's up, but now they just want me to kneel, so I do it.
You do what's asked of you. You're getting the big assignments in this game. You had a lot of time covering Don Desmarais. You were getting switched over. You had Kirkland. Talking about mindset going in, knowing how big of an assignment you were being asked of.
I've played against Mooncatchers a lot of times, and it's just knowing that you got to be disciplined. You got to know what they want, and even if you do everything right, you just got to run your heart out. And it's always that, and the stakes just get higher when you're playing a team like this.
Paul, what's your vertical?
I have no idea.
That was a crazy. What's going through your mind as you see the lob to ref in the corner over here?
Just run, go get it. Nothing else.
I think your coach mentioned at the halftime that it's more legs and less head. Yeah. Stay out of your heads, use the body. To run. Anything more you can give us to take us through while that last one's floating up to take the game and to put yourselves into a finals position here.
Yeah, honestly, what Lauren told me at halftime was great. I was starting to think, Don's very tricky. He's a very tricky person to guard. She's like, you just got to trust your legs, get in his way, and then on the rip, just run. And that's what I was thinking.
I'm going to wait till every teammate drops a jersey on your head. What are your thoughts on Revolver tomorrow?
Oh, that's a great program. I wish people had been able to see that pool play game. It was a slugfest. Both their O-line was playing great, our O-line was playing great, so I'm excited for this final.
This feels like an extra from Rudy with everybody giving the jersey to get you in the game. I think there's no doubt we'll see you in the game tomorrow. Alexandre Fall, remarkable stuff. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Get some rest. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Let's go.
Alexandre Fall.
That is
doing some laundry tonight.
An incredible post-game interview. Love to see all of Truck Stop getting behind it, and why not? What a game. Play of the game here. There's Alexandre Fall getting the touch on Ref Yonkers. I thought that was a gimme for Ref when it went up, but that was when Alexandre Fall started putting his imprint on it. You see it go the other way. That was the first out of Mott's hand, and Fall just did it all to take Truck through this semi. They're going to the finals, U.S. Open, as we take another look at this bracket, Evan.
Let's think big picture for 1 second, Steph, before we step away. Mooncatchers came here to get quality reps. They're not going to be the U.S. Open champions, but their long-term goal is to win Worlds in Ireland next year. What does this experience do for them?
I mean, this is massive for them. You cannot get better reps than what they got today. I think the belief that they can beat any team in the world existed before this based on what they did in Cincinnati last time, and that belief is only stronger. Even after a loss like this, they know this game was one throw away, 1 inch away. Where that comes from, it doesn't matter, but I think the belief they get from knocking off teams like Machine, going through Clapham again, that's something they're getting used to doing, but all the U.S. teams they've played and gone through along the way here, it will have built a great belief for them that this program can do it all and win at the very top level of World Club competition.
Couple of 2-point games in the semis with Revolver outlasting Dig and Truck Stop narrowly edging Mooncatchers. Hopefully we get another great one in the men's final tomorrow. That's scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock local time here in Colorado. The day begins much earlier than that, 9 a.m. local with a mixed final, 11:30 a.m. with the women's. You just take a deep breath and appreciate the opportunity to be a part of something like this. To work alongside the international boys, Stefan Rapazzo, an absolute pleasure. Hope we get to do it again, my friend.
Loved every second of it, Evan.
Wow, Alexandre Fall was the difference, and Truck Stop is on to the finals. 15-13 victory over the honorable Mooncatchers from Brussels, Belgium. For Stefan Rapazzo and our entire crew, Evan Lepler saying good night. It's been an honor. We'll see you tomorrow on Championship Sunday at the U.S. Open.